I'm Josh Snyder. You're watching Thoughtful Discussions. I'm here with.
Wade Anthony of Anthony's Locker, 4314 Butler Street, Lawrenceville, PA.
What is Anthony's Locker?
Premium sneaker store, buy, sell, trade, premium sneakers, and high fashion.
Cool. How'd you get into that?
How did I get into it? Basically just like at my locker in high school as a senior, couldn't really afford much like sneaker wise because these shoes are like $200.
Yep.
So like I basically would just trade my like stock that I had and tell people like, hey, meet me in the locker room after practice. We'll do that. So then when I came here, no one was buying sneakers like they were in DC. That's where I'm from.
Yep.
And so I just started up the business. Was doing it for 4 years in PA, and then all of a sudden just came across an opportunity, took it, and we're here 3 years later.
Yeah. So you've been in Lawrenceville for how long?
3 years.
Okay.
It's been definitely a learning experience, but it's definitely I wouldn't change anything.
What was so right now, and especially people that are not in Pittsburgh or from Pittsburgh, they might not know what Lawrenceville is like. So can you tell me a little bit about how it is now versus how it was 3 years ago and maybe 10 years ago?
Amazing question. So like, so 3 years ago. Well, let me go back even further. 3 years before I even got there, drug infested, a lot of heroin, prostitution, rundown. A lot of businesses were, the very, very, very old mom and pop shops there. Yeah, I mean, the only thing that existed from that area, I would say, is probably Wagner's, and Rent-A-Center.
Yep.
But besides that, when I got there, it's probably only like 2 good restaurants there, and a vape shop and a tax return place. I think it was Liberty, and that was it. Now you got Natural, you got Vandal, you have Industry.
Bougie food.
We got a lot of bougie food, and the nightlife is actually there now.
Right.
So it's like I remember during school season I would extend my hours just because there's a whole nother clientele that I wouldn't reach if I had just left at a regular 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's a tremendous change, and it looks amazing. There's so much opportunity for more people to come down. It's definitely a diamond in the rough right now.
Absolutely. So I believe that you create the culture you want to surround yourself in, and I think you've done an excellent job of that. Whether it's with your online presence or you're in the shop, how would you describe the culture of what you're doing?
So the culture of what I'm doing is definitely changed. So first it was more of a lot of questions, like what am I doing? What am I wearing? Why? And now it's like, oh, there's opportunity. I can do this to myself because my story isn't one of those things where like I was handed. It was, basically started off 4 pairs of shoes, and now I have over like 400 pair. And I've been on this, like I said, by myself, my own boss for 3 years. So now it's like you got these kids, they're 12, I would say 10 years old, 11, 12 years old. Mom and dad are even buying into the culture, and they're like, oh, yeah, we got to get in line every Saturday and resell these sneakers. My kid's making an extra $200 a month. I mean, $200 a week. And now people see me as like an OG, kind of like. And so people come down and they try to still cop the untouchable releases, things that Pittsburgh won't ever see unless someone travels like myself and grabs them and obtains them. So that's definitely the culture now. So it's more of a partnership versus a novelty thing now. Right. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. And you do travel, and you go, whether you have shows or you travel to buy, you travel to sell, and that makes your store a little bit different.
Yeah, so like I guess a little prehistory on myself. So like basically I've been doing this like in the middle of the eBay era. So I've been doing this since 2006, 2007. And so basically about 11 years almost now. And my customer client base is from all over the world. I have customers in Paris. I have customers in Australia. I have customers in Belgium, Germany, London, Canada, Mexico, you name it. And so my online presence is just amazing. So as far as obtaining, these releases have become more vast because there's more influencers that are from all over that they don't have that Nike power yet where they can just like distribute to the whole world. So there's certain things where I use my connects and I travel there for these like sneaker shows like SneakerCon, and I go all over the place for those. So I haven't traveled crazy yet. I've been to like Chicago, the New Yorks, the Floridas, the Georgias, the North Carolinas, the whole East Coast basically.
Yeah.
But I want to start expanding, getting to like the LA, the Dallases, the Vegas. I want to start going to the Canada shows, and I want to go to London, and then hopefully go to an Australian one, just so I can take my career to a whole nother level and actually expand my thinking as far as being a creative in like the fashion culture.
Right. Now, give me a price range. You have shoes that sell between what and what? People that don't know.
Man, $20 to let's change that, because
35 at least.
no, not even at least. Me and Jeeves, we've seen some things come through the shop, man, and I would say $5 to 30 grand.
30 grand.
30
You
grand.
sold a shoe for 30 grand.
30 grand to Retro Paris out in Paris, size 9, 2016 Air Mag, size 9. Yeah, that was it. 30 grand. Yeah.
Came with a certificate.
It came with a lot of stuff. Yeah, Auto Lace shoe is only 89 in the world. It's just a really dope shoe all around.
Yeah.
We've had some other shoes, but like that's the one that's most expensive. I would say the other ones it's like 12 grand. The same shoe but different year. They just didn't Auto Lace. 12 grand, 5 grand, 8 grand. I had 3 of them. So those were exciting. Those are always dope to get rid of, but
absolutely,
it's kind of like one of those double-edged swords. Like you want them in the shop so people can see them, but it's like it doesn't mean no good.
Hold on it.
Yeah, you gotta hold it. Like if someone's gonna 30 grand, like how often do you have a lottery ticket just sitting there?
Right.
Like, and what's crazy is about that story, the guy who won that shoe, it was a Nike raffle. So you had to like purchase a ticket off the app. And each ticket was $10, and all the money went to the Parkinson's, Foundation by Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
So he purchased one ticket. So it was a consignment, So he paid $10 and had an unmarked like truck drop the shoe off with 2 security armed drivers to his house. Then he brought it to me, and then I sold it. Yeah, I had it sold in 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the most expensive Air Mag in that year, I think, was $109,000.
Yeah.
But it was like for charity.
Yeah.
And I think it was the guy who owns the company Crep, which is a repellent company for sneakers. It's crazy.
And you have so tell me exactly how the process works. So you could either you have a few different options. Like you can buy a shoe straight up.
Right.
You can consign.
Right.
And a lot of people consign. And or obviously you're selling everything you have. Now, what's the advantage? Like, if I wanted to, I could sell my sneakers on eBay, but there's a better chance of you selling it because you have more rapport. You have a store. You have there's reasons to come to you and try to get you to sell it, right?
Right. So, like when you come straight to me, you automatically get 11 years of expertise coming with it. So, I mean, some people are selling stuff they don't even know if it's real or not. Which kills the game in itself.
Absolutely.
So when you come to me, I can tell you what the market is. I mean, if you want something done fast, I can advise you on a certain price where we both can still make our money and feel good about it. If you want to sell it high and you got patience, I can do that too. I have a clientele that some of my clients really don't care. They want it right now.
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, you can sell it on eBay, but the thing is, you have a regular job that you have to go to still to make your money. This is what I do 24/7. Right. You have a regular job that you can go to, but then when there's questions to be answered, you have to wait until it's you're done with work or done with your whole life responsibilities. Right. It just sits in your closet. When people ask for pictures, you may forget. It could be 2 days later. All of a sudden, no one wants it anymore. Right. These shoes are so impulse buy that you have to do it now. If you message me right now, my girlfriend will tell you right now, I'm always on my phone. Like if I'm working, always on my phone. If you contact me, I get mad if like I see a message that's there. Like I hate having like that one red bubble on my iPhone. Notifications all of them have to be cleared. So I'm constantly doing that, and I'm taking pictures. I'm willing and dealing. I do make the executive decision. Sometimes I do take the hit in my personal fee. Just so I can get the sale. So I'm more inclined because consignment is free money for me.
Yeah.
So if something's going for $200, you get 180. If someone's like, look, 190 cash, I'm gonna just take it.
Yeah.
I still make $10 of something that wasn't mine.
Right.
You still get your 180. We all win. So I mean, that's where it is. And also too, I know how to protect the item from fraud, like sending stuff to people without it being a scam or whatnot. I'm very vast in that. We've had tons of attempts, and we know how to. And also too, we're insured. I have so many customers that have been broken into. There was a huge one on 38th Street where the guy lost 63 pairs of shoes, and he came back to the shop a month later. You know, once he got his insurance. I mean, well, he didn't have insurance, but once he got some money saved up, he came back to the shop and he had to start all over. But something happened to us. We've been broken in one time.
Yeah.
And we got that check in 3 weeks, and everything was paid for, and some. Right. And I mean, you can't really make up these type of items. I just talked about a $30,000 shoe. Right. You know what I mean? Like, if that gets robbed from someone's house, I'm pretty sure most insurance companies are gonna look at you crazy that you just asked for $30,000. Right. For me, they're just gonna be like, all right, cool. We see it on the internet. Right. You pay for the insurance. This is your check. Right. Yeah, my premiums go up, but who cares? That's what I pay them for. Right. You know what I mean? So. Right. That's the best part, but also too, what it's funny that you brought up this question because it's like this is like a thing that I just instilled in myself. I was talking to a bunch of other owners, and basically like I want people to respect the business. A lot of small businesses, a lot of people ask for like handouts and discounts. Sure. Here, it's like we demand the respect. Right. So. We tell people like, look, let's work together. That's why we do the consignment, because we do buy, which is a huge part of our business. Yep. But I also have the power to say no. We don't want to buy it. So we are a store with a culture where it's like we're not here just to give. We're also here to make money, and we remind people that too, because it's really easy for people to try to do our job by just coming and taking money. It's a quick dollar for them, and it makes it harder for us. So at our store, it's like, hey, like we don't mind paying, but like you got to give back a little bit too. So we slow it down, and it's crazy. Ever since I've been saying no, we've had tons of consignment come in. I've never had this much inventory ever, to the point that I just cleared out my whole back to add space. Nice. So we do buy, sell, trade. If you don't have any money, bring your old dirty shoes in. We can make a discount for you, so it's pretty cool.
You have other services too, right? Like you'll clean up shoes, you'll repair them, you'll paint them.
Yeah, so we do refurbishing. Right. So if you got like mud, blood, rocks, gum, all that stuff, like we start off with like $15. Come in 3 days later, we take care of it. It looks good. Scuffs, I mean, we can do everything except for like, things that like tear, like rips and tears, like you know what I mean, like that's
material.
Yeah, that's just material. Like, and even that can be fixed, but like I just prefer not to charge that because you might as well just buy another shoe. But we do all that. We do like customs. So if you like a shoe and you just wish it was a different color, like, oh man, I like it, I just wish this was pink. Yeah. I could just change it pink for you. Like, we start off with like $50. Those jobs we just base, minimum a week. More complicated jobs, up to a month. But we do all that. For the most part, I mean, we like to have fun. We want people to have what they want. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. You could take something, turn into something that you really want, because these shoes are really expensive. So we give that outlet where you can, hold on to those things.
Right. For someone that may not be in, sneaker game, sneakerhead, that kind of mentality, I've seen people walk into your store and they walk out and they're like, why is someone charging $300 for a pair of used shoes? And they think it's crazy. What is like what's the... Why do people get wrapped up in it? I mean, it's like trading cards.
It seriously is like the Pokemon cards of the 2000s. So like, no one knows why we're going bonanza for these $3 packs of starter pack, cards. Right. But I mean, it's all about demand, supply and demand. Right. I mean,
fashion.
It's fashion. You see someone on TV with it, you're like, I want that. Like, I got a pair of Balenciagas on my wall. Everyone saw AB in the God's Plan video with Drake, and they're like, oh, that looks dope. Right. And then like I just like legit had a kid today who was like, yo, how much for these? Right. One is on the tag. That's another annoying thing. But I was like, it's $1,000. Yeah. And I tell these kids all the time, like, you guys think this stuff is easy. And I think we've gone so where a lot of people are so out of tune because there's so many Instagram celebrities, Facebook celebrities.
It looks accessible.
It looks super accessible because it's like, oh, this guy, all he does is makes jokes and he dresses well. Can't be that much. And then all in all, no one does their research.
Right.
And it's like, yo, this is Balenciaga. Balenciaga is up there with Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Burberry, and that stuff's not cheap. I mean, you get a belt, it's $400. You know what I mean? Like it's not cheap. Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like supply and demand. Back in the day when I was standing in line, like 2012, 2011, it'd be 100 people waiting overnight. Like I'm talking about like 16 hours for one shoe. And it's not to resell it either. It was so they can have it. Yeah. Because if they didn't wait in line, then they had to come to a guy like me where I'm charging double or triple, because if I charge double, I sell out too quick. Right. I charge triple, it takes me a week, but I still get it. So it's just like one of those things. It's like, hey, can you blame me? Like, I just so happen to be very loyal. These guys, I'm not saying my whole operation, but put like this, I get the pairs and I find a way and then I make money. Yeah. So therefore it's, people just wait in line because you either going to pay triple, quadruple, or you can get it at retail and you just had to wait in line. And you know, it's crazy. I've seen people wait in line and it's like negative degrees out. Yeah. I've seen people with tents. I've seen people like hook up extension cords to light posts and had NBA 2K like with a fire. Like I've seen so much stuff. I've seen like cots. We look homeless. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but no one sees that stuff. They just see the stores open, right? And they just see that there's a shoe on the shelf. They don't even understand that shoe came out. Some of these shoes that I sell are from like 1985, 1974, never worn. Yeah. It's a collector's item. Like you don't go into a pawn shop or like I don't know which one of those places, like a sporting goods place that has collectibles, and you walk up and be like, yo, let me get that Babe Ruth card. Right. He's like, oh, it's just a card. I got like $1. I'm like, no, it was 50 cents back in the day, 5 cents probably. And that card, when I went and got some stuff appraised, that card in mint condition is $100 grand. Easy. Like I understand people not, but that's not my market, and like I really am not even gonna waste my time to explain it, because even explain it, that means you don't even have that type of passion to spend that type of money. Right. Like the guys that own other shops like me. Like my guy Jace from Urban Necessities out in Vegas, he spends 20 grand a day. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got some guys that buy stuff from Flight Club. They spend 100 grand a week. Yeah. And it's like people are like, are you nuts? And it's like, yeah, no, like we're good. Right. We're good. So whatever.
There's a reason for it.
There's a reason. Like I mean, even when I got some stuff on my feet, like I call my sneakers insurance policies. Like we just get rid of it. If I ever need money, I'll just get rid of one, and we're good. Back on the boat.
Right.
So yeah.
That's amazing, and I think because it is fashion, is because it's something people wear. It's something, whether it's collecting or because you just want to wear a really cool shoe. It feels nice. I mean, you get the boost that like a little extra.
It's funny because Josh finally hopped over as he's wearing them right now. He's like bouncing around.
Taking them off.
This is your second pair of Boost, and you were just like, what were you wearing before? Just like, whatever. Yeah. And it's like Josh going to date and be like, I look good? I'm like, yeah, you look good. I said, you comfy? Hell yeah. And it's like, it's just dope. So now I'm glad. I mean, all it takes is like that one purchase, right? And it's really easy to get soaked in. Like, I can only imagine, like, if you were a sneakerhead, your room would be full with Boost. But you're content, and I love it. Even that you're wearing it right now. So, like, for me, like, I just do it because, like, I like just feeling comfortable. Yeah. So if my whole outfit flows, that's it. If I'm doing something where I'm selling something and I want to stand out, then I put on something crazy. But like that's why I like the versatility in my collection. Mm-hmm. I like just having stuff that people can't get. Yeah, it's dope. It's just like for me, it's like, all right, cool. I've established myself as who I am, right? And it's like I was allowed to get that, and it's like entering like the clubhouse, and it's like, all right, yeah, you can have that. And if you're not a part of the clubhouse, you had to pay crazy. Right. So yeah, I like that.
So take it back just a little bit for you were talking about how people will camp outside the store, and what I think a lot of people don't realize is with these big releases, these shoes are only coming out in 5,000, 7,000 shoes at a time, and you might have 5,000 shoes, but you got 50,000 people that want them. That's why there's supply and demand. That's why people will pay double, triple.
So like your average American release is around like 134,000. It's like I know it's a random like strict number, but like that's usually the average.
Sure.
Now, so that's just Jordan. Like, and we call those a general release. So the nickname for that is GR.
Yeah.
So that's a GR release, and those are like the releases where you can kind of be late to a release and still get lucky. Right. But like even though those shoes don't sell out right away, like give it 2-3 days, all 100,000 are gone. Like they're gone. And sometimes the market doesn't go too crazy. Like if they don't sell too quick.
If you got 100,000 made, there's a million people that want.
Oh, without doubt. No, without doubt. I mean, you got to think about it like this. They come out at 8:00 a.m. on a Saturday. Mm-hmm. Some people have jobs. Some people got kids. They got responsibility. Whatever life has going for them, they just can't make it. Some people just had a bill. They probably can't do it until next Friday. Yeah. But there's still 100,000 people ready to go right now. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is like I catch that wave of the people from the next day. I catch the next week people with paychecks, and then some people that have to just save up just to get it. Yeah. So like that's where my job is, but it's like they have to pay that premium because they weren't ready. It's I mean, if someone was like, "Hey, I got this ticket to go see Beyonce and Jay-Z. It's free. You just got to be here at this time." But we're in Bloomfield right now, and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm in Lawrenceville." Even though I'm across the bridge, if someone heard that and was in Bloomfield right next door, I lose. And if that person wants to turn around and say, "Hey, I got it for 1,000. If I really want to go, that's the price that I'm paying. Like, and if I don't want to pay, I'm not gonna go. Right. So, the reason why I use that example is because Jay-Z and Beyonce are gonna be in town one time, and then the tour's over. Yeah. So it's like you got to make a decision: do I want it or not? Right. And if I don't, I have to watch everybody else who experienced that thing. Mm-hmm. And if I do go, it's like, all right, cool. I spent all this money. So you have to kind of balance, like, is the experience worth? So I tell all my customers, like, look, if you really love it, you're going to rock it. Like, spend that money, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? How many other shoes are you going to really love like you got this one? Yeah. And usually that's, like, my best selling point. And people usually go with it. Some people not feeling it. It's fine. But there's going to be something that's going to catch their eye. Yeah. So.
That's good. Well, going back a little bit more business, like, what would you say, I mean, so you had 4 years where you were selling, door to door, online,
out
eBay,
the trunk,
whatever, and then you've had 3 years, so 7 years in total.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. There's definitely two sets of rules. So give me some examples of some major lessons you learned, both out the trunk and having a storefront.
Out the trunk, meet everybody in a public place, unless you know who that guy or female is. Like, I honestly, if I like painted like my story from out the trunk on paper, like the most success came in the dark. Like it'd be the darker colors. Like I've been in trap houses, and if for those of Josh's fans, don't know what a trap house is, it's like gang members and stuff like that. Hey, dollar's a dollar. But like I've been in trap houses where it's like super shady characters just sitting in a room, and they just give you thousands and thousands of dollars. And they'll pre-order, which is like they pay before the release. So basically, they are busy, but they're paying me for a service to be there on that time. Basically, they would give me like $1,000 and be like, "Yo, we need this on Saturday. Be back on Saturday." Yeah. And it's crazy. Yeah. And then I've had some people that be like, make an order, and be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna gift you money on PayPal." And for those who don't know about PayPal, you're not supposed to accept gifts unless you know them. So I've accepted gifts, shipped out shoes, and like they would do a chargeback because they're supposed to be friends. Right. So I remember one year I lost like $10,000 in just scams. Like I've trust me guys, I've taken all the failures for you already. Like I've had a lot of learning experiences financially, and like trust me, there's a reason why I say no. There's a reason why I move like I do. But out the trunk, meeting people in person is a scary thing in general. It's like every Craigslist story you hear. I mean, it can happen to any of us. Right. And I've had people get shot. I've had people get stabbed. I've had people get killed. Trying to do this job because
not your people, but you've
not.
Seen it.
I've seen it. I've actually had one friend get killed in a release in DC, in 2008. And it was for the electric blue foams, and a guy came out with a gun because you had to have the money right then and there. He knew everyone had at least $250 on him, and he robbed the whole line. It's probably like 14K, and the one guy wouldn't give up his shoes, and he shot him right there, and it was just crazy. So I tell people all the time, like, let the professionals that's been doing this do this. I don't think it's cool when, I mean, each his own. Don't get me wrong. This is just my opinion, so don't crucify me for it. But I don't think it's cool when people bring their kids out just so they can be another body in line, so they can get another pair. Like, when I get multiple pairs, I'm one guy. Like, I don't have an army, even though I should. I don't have an army. I just have my established relationships. There are people out there that, like, use their kids as bodies so they can, like basically loophole the system so they can have multiple pairs. Right. And you have 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds out in line overnight. You know what I mean? So it's super dangerous, but I'm at a level now where my reputation is exceeding me. I don't do lines anymore. I rather just do
put the work in.
Yeah, I've already done my job. I can make a phone call now, and those people know who they are. I appreciate you all. But I do that, and we're at a point where my clients pay a little bit much, so it evens out. But now with a store, you got to have a team that's trustworthy. Definitely got to have a team that's trustworthy. And I'm not even worrying about, like,
I've learned that too.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about, like, oh man, you're late. I mean, we all know. Yeah. G is smiling so hard right now. Like, I am not the best with time. Sure. I mean, but, like, I feel like that's one of my perks of being an owner. I don't care. Like, there's no one's gonna write me up. So, but as long as we open, you know what I mean? Right. So, but when I say as far as trust, it's like, I need you to think just like me when I leave. And if you don't know, like, put the ego aside and just ask me a question, because I respect that 100% versus like, I mean, like, there's some things, like, just go with it. Like, if it's like, yo, the customer, like, the price is 100, customer's got $80. I'm like, dude, if you don't make that sell, like, I don't care about that stuff. I'm talking about, like, it's like, hey, man, like, I don't know, it was 1,000. He offered me 500. I know, like, we didn't have a sell all day. I just took it. Like, no, we're not running with that. And, like, it all boils down to, like, we do bad decisions like that. Like, the bad things just trickle after that. Right. And also, too, like, when I say trust, like, you can't just, you got to have a team that sees all this money. Right. You have to have people that have been around money before. Right. Because as an owner, and I mean, you can I know you can jump in on this one. There's a lot of money that comes through in transactions, but that's not all ours. It goes back into the overhead. It goes back into the equipment. It goes back into inventory. It goes into the employees. And it's like, we make good money. I wish I could take that money and put it in my pocket. Right. But it's like, if anyone gets greedy and thinks like, oh, he's making all this money, I want a bigger cut. It's a wrap for that person. And for me, like, as soon as I start seeing greed, you're done. So I've learned to put my foot down and speak my mind as far as, like, if something doesn't feel right, I'm just going to ask you straight up. I don't care if we're at an event. I don't care if I'm in front of your mom's. I'm just like, hey, let's talk about, like, just 30 minutes ago. Like, what just happened? Like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, we just got to did it right then and there. And if as soon as we're all on the same page, that's when you start progressing. Yeah. So I let things linger, and I used to have questions, and I would wait until someone mess up. Right. Now it's like, nah, like, let's talk. Let me pull you aside. Sure. So that's where I'm at now.
And to put that into perspective, because, you know, I appreciate numbers. I know you do too. Let's say you have $1 million move through a store, right? And you make 10%, right? That's $100,000 that you get. So obviously that's a great amount of money. Yeah. But people see there's a gross versus net, right? And people see the million and they're like, oh, you made $1 million, right? No, you didn't make $1 million. You made 100,000, right? Which is awesome.
And it's hard to do.
But it costs you $9 to make that last dollar.
Yeah.
You made that 10, and it's like.
And we're 90-10 split. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, of course. Like, no, it's. I think a lot of people forget. Besides even the aspect of just owning a business that's expensive, we have a livelihood that's expensive as well. Right. And it's not because, like, oh, we choose to live like how we do. Yeah. It's just because, like, I just want to be comfortable. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we work very, very hard as business owners. Right. And I like coming to a home that is nice. Sure. You know what I mean? Right. So it's not like I'm not talking about like a mansion. Yeah. I'm not talking about a huge condo. I'm just talking about like something that's just like above where I was at when I was working my older job. Right. Yeah, you gotta
provide for yourself. What's the reason to do it if you're not gonna?
Exactly.
You gotta have either some sort of joy, some sort of, you know, you gotta be creating something out of it for yourself through the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that like for me, like owning a business is like I don't look like they always say like my girlfriend was saying this yesterday. I would never trust a skinny chef.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to eat a little bit. You got to eat a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, you said it. She's laughing right now. Yeah, shout out to H. But no, like if I didn't have like nicer things,
Right.
how can I charge you for like I'm trying to sell my Louis Vuitton baseball jersey from Supreme. How can I ask you for $6,000 if I don't even own any of that stuff or have a lifestyle that you're gonna be like, oh, that's fake. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm selling Jordans, but my shoes got holes in them, and it's like you never have new shoes, and it's like these got to be fake. This guy can't afford any of this stuff, and it's like so I gotta make sure the store is always up to date. I can't have like we just changed the floors thanks to you last year because the floors were looking crappy. Yeah. They were 15 years old, and we put it was like $3,500 into a floor. Yeah. But the discount was amazing. I ain't gonna say what it was supposed to be, but no, like a lot of people don't see that. And I think that's the one biggest thing as a business owner is that it's not their business to know, but like, damn it, we wish they knew. Right. Yeah. Actually, shout out to Games in that. I was talking to Bill. Yeah. And Bill was like, so what do you do? And I told him. And he was like, does all your friends think that you have a lot of money? I was like, yes. And he's like, God help them. Right. So that's the one thing Bill said right before like we left. It was crazy. So it's 100% consensus that's what everyone thinks. Right. I don't know. It's weird.
We work for it, though.
But we work for it.
Right.
But it also hurts.
Yeah.
We also take all the hits.
Exactly. The risk versus reward. What's been some of your bigger risks?
Ooh, expansion.
Expansion. That was a risk.
That was a huge risk.
What happened?
I lost that fight. I mean, I'm smiling now. Yeah. I just got some good news today. Cool. Basically, like, kind of had a pushy partner. It was like, hey, we're moving. And he was kind of like my numbers guy. And this is one of those guys that, you know, basically was part of the story of not trusting. Right. And basically it was a huge thing where it was like I, as an owner, always listen to yourself as an owner. Yeah. Like, no one else put the money in. If someone doesn't put money in with you, don't listen to them. Honestly, I will never listen to anyone else who will not put any money in. Like, I just won't. But this guy didn't put any money in and was trying to make business owner decisions. And I let that person into a circle that shouldn't have been open, like a door that shouldn't have been open. Yeah. And I let that person like sway me into a decision, and I did it. And it was faster than what I wanted.
There was a carrot hanging from a stick for you.
It was definitely like, oh man, it's a huge carrot.
Yeah.
Huge carrot. I was hopping my life away, but like for me, it made sense. And you know what's actually crazy? As much as I was forced into it. Yeah. Because the one thing that hit me that made me go through with the decision, I remember when I first moved out and I got my first place, I was like, there's no way I can afford this rent. You know what I mean? Like, boy, who pays this much in rent? And I was like, I'm talking about like $600 a month, right? I'm like, who pays $600 a month to live? And then I moved to another place and it was $800. I'm like, who pays $800 a month? And then I opened up the store and I'm like, oh man, I got that rent and this rent. And then I'm like, you know what? I always complain about it. And then once I'm forced, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just force my that's what I gotta do, and I just gotta work harder. What's crazy is like the expansion. I felt like it was too fast, which I still do kinda, but it was good. It's just that I didn't expand with the right people, and if I took my time and actually filled out who was working for me, and actually had people that want better for me, because all in all, it's my passion, it's my vision that gets the ball rolling. Right. Everyone else, they can shine once we're good to go. Yeah. That's where things got messy, and I didn't take my time on the characters that I had. Absolutely. And they were nothing like what I'm trying to do or even a part of the culture of what I was trying to infuse. So expansion, just make sure before you do it, you have to replicate yourself. You have to copy yourself. Right. So, I mean, if I want another place, there has to be another Anthony. You know what I mean? And when I say another Anthony, like that person has to have the same passion. Mm-hmm. They have to have the same drive. They got to have a little bit to risk as well. Right. And if they don't, I mean, honestly, could you imagine it's like you own Macy's and you tell the janitor who comes in at night, like, hey, can you just run his register? He doesn't get paid to run the register.
Right.
He gets paid to clean.
Right.
So he's only going to focus on the cleaning.
Right.
So all in all, in this big picture is like no one cares about the big picture. What's trying to happen? They only care about making their money. Yeah. And in this business, I mean, honestly, yeah, money comes in, and that's basically what we do. Yeah. But you got to have a passion for it, because then no one's gonna want to do it. Yeah. You know, people like to see the hard work. They like to see the process, yeah. And they want to come down there and show love. And if you're just like, give me your money, it kind of pushes people away. Right. So, yeah, that's definitely a regret.
Well, to speak to that too, I not a completely similar situation, but I opened up a secondary shop in the South Side.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was kind of like a test period for me. I had the extra machine and the money for the rent, and it was a very low risk situation.
Right.
So I got a guy in there that could do the graphic design and do the printing, and it was a partnership. So I've focused a lot on creating partnerships. I partnered with the last print shop before I moved up the hill, and that was a fantastic deal for both of us. He was able.
I miss it a little bit. I do.
What he got out of that was, he had 500 customers. I had 500 customers. He was in business for 5 years. I was in business for 2, and I left 2 years later. We both had 3,000 customers.
It's crazy. Congrats, though.
Thank you.
Congrats.
And we were able to leave that situation both in a much, much better place. I'm still creating partnerships, whether it's with someone that's going to do an advertising type of partnership, or have something in the works where we're going to get a different machine that does something that's not paper, and we're partnering with that person. But you have to make sure that there's something for them and something for you,
right?
And that it's even and it works for both of you, and that there's a fair trade, and that they have a stake, and
right?
That to what you're saying,
right?
It's important to vet the people that you're going to be working with, because they could take, we're not 20 years old anymore. We don't have nothing to lose like we did.
Nah, trust me.
Now it's like, if someone messes you up, they take what you got. You can't let that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I take people so much serious now. Mm-hmm. Ever since like that whole thing, yep. Just because like I know how it like affected me personally, yep. And I ask all the guys that like I'm working with, like, hey, like I'm very flexible when it comes to like what can you do with me.
Be honest.
Not for me, because like you're gonna get something from me and I'm gonna get something out of you. Right. And the thing is like the reason why I ask my guys like what they want to do is because it allows them to be them. So when they're there, they're all for me. They're not like, oh man, I'm dependent on this guy, like, blah blah blah, I'm not getting paid enough. It's like, right. No, it's just like, yo, I choose to be here. Everyone chooses. Yeah. And then I just like, my goal is basically just get it to another level where like the ground up squad, like that's definitely helped, can definitely be appreciated more, because like only I know like how much I wish I can do more, but like my guys all understand as well. So it's like I want to get my ground up team and then just like follow by like the average range of what that worker would be. But like my team, I want to make sure they're all taken care of, because they did it because they wanted to, not because it was like an ad in Craigslist like, oh yeah, I got some money, who wants to work? You know what I mean? It's super dope. So like and you can see it when you walk in the store, like we're all having fun. We're telling jokes. We get the customers involved. Right. It's a more authentic feel. Right. And so customers love it. I mean, the one thing when we get our feedback and people are giving us reviews, they're like, oh, I had so much fun. This is the best shop in Pittsburgh. Like those guys are always doing like crazy stuff. I mean, people always want to experiment with us, and I think that's dope, because expressing your creative mind is a very vulnerable thing to do, and to actually like say, hey, like, look, I want to do it here. That's like opening up your doors to us and letting us curate it, and you leave happy is even doper. So
absolutely.
So yeah.
I'm gonna put two things back to back. Which one do you think is more important, cash flow or customer experience?
Customer experience.
Yeah.
Only because like I made a ton of money without the store.
Okay.
But I couldn't reach, like I was dependent on those customers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like only people who had my phone number could reach me.
Fair.
and that capped me out in inventory. And if you're capped out in inventory, you can only make but so much.
Yeah.
So I might as well just go back to work and be capped out with my hours.
Right.
So when I open up the store, it's unlimited. I can be famous tomorrow, and I have as many people that can make it to Pittsburgh and Lawrenceville within my hour frame, and make a ton of money because we have great customer experiences where people are just flourishing. Like I always mention, he does camera work as well for us, and like he puts us on YouTube and people can see that stuff. We've had people come from Oregon, people come from Wisconsin, Chicago. We've had people come from all over the place, and they're like, yo, like I've seen this, you guys are on this and blah blah blah, and that's so cool because if I was just doing this out of my trunk, do you think someone would call me and be like, yo, I just came from Florida, I heard you had the best stuff in your trunk? Like no one says that. So like the customer experience is cool, like and it's not funny to say, but it's crazy to say that if I was still doing this out of my trunk, and yes, I was making good money, but the market in sneakers went down kind of like, and also too, people have issues as well. If I only had like 20 booming customers, like I said, a lot of the places where I made that money were in the dark, where I went to these trap houses. A lot of these guys are either dead or in jail or they've moved because they can't be in Pittsburgh. Right. And it's like, if I was dependent on those guys, I expire. You know what I mean? So basically I'm in a space where like I can evolve. I can change with my surroundings, no matter what. I mean, my reputation is up here, and if anything happened in Lawrenceville, I can always take and move and still be who I am, and we're good to go. So the customer experience is definitely important. With that whole situation that I keep bringing up, it was a situation where like I either take care of the customer first or I take care of myself first. And one would have been detrimental to my brand, and the other one was detrimental to my personal life. I chose my customers and suffered personally. And what's crazy is I'm in a situation now where it's like anything happens, I can openly tell the customer like, hey, like, can you just wait till tomorrow? And they're like, I trust you 100%. Sure. All my customers, all 16.9 thousand customers that I have right now, trust me. They have no problem leaving $1,000, $2,000 piece in my shop. They don't even look. Like we have it set up now with a form. They just type in their name, put in what they got. They hit see thank you. They're out. They don't ask me questions. Well, what if this happens? They're like, we've done this before. My boy told me about this, or my girl told me about this. It's so much easier. But if it's just cash flow and people just see you with a bunch of cash but nothing to show for it, it's just like if I don't have a nice place to stay or nice shoes on. They're gonna question you and it's like, yo, are you just scamming people? So it's so cash flow is really irrelevant. More customers mean more money. If I had 1 million customers spend $1 a day and they're happy, that's $1 million. But if I took $100 from one person, they're pissed. This is only one person that made 100. But I made $100, but it's only one person, and I have a bad rep. So that's like my whole thing about it, and that's why it's so important to me. That's why I don't like to alienate myself or seem like I'm so mighty. I like to seem very personable, to the point where it's like you're talking to your cousin, or your brother. Like I actually have teammates right now. They have bad days. I'm like, just come to the shop, and they love it. Guys just kick it, play video games. They can get out of their head for a second. So it's not just a store; it's a locker because it's team oriented, stuff like that. So
interesting. I love it. Well. Tell me again, where can we find the store, physical location, online, plug all your spots.
All right. So Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, straight at Anthony's Locker, ANTHONYSLOCKER. And the website is The Locker, THELCKR.com. The store is on 4314 Butler Street in Lawrenceville, PA, 15201. If you come in, say what's up to me, G, Steve. If Josh is hanging out, say what's up to Josh too. That's it.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
And what can people find in there? Like you got Supreme.
Oh, man.
Adidas, you got Nikes.
You can find Bape, Palace, Supreme, Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok.
Yeah.
Oh, man. There's so many brands. Bear Bricks.
Yeah.
You can find Cause dolls, Snoopies. You can find collectibles. You can find shoes that are broken. You can find shoes that aren't broken, brand new, repainted. You can get your stuff clean. You can also just have a good time, have a good experience. If your girlfriend's getting some ice cream next door, you can just save some time and just sit in the shop and just chill while she waits in the 2-hour line.
Awesome.
So yeah.
I'll leave you with one last question.
Sure.
Who are you? You got Matt Gondek that signed your wall. Who all has been in your store and bought shoes from you that like blew your mind that they came in?
I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I just got cable 2 months ago.
Okay.
So I had YF and Lucci. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
Somebody from one of my stores that I shop with was like, yo, I got this rapper. He wants to come down. No, they didn't even say he was a rapper. Just said, I got this guy from Georgia that wants to come down and buy some shoes. He came down, and I was like, I'll open up. I just want some money. It was Sunday. I was closed.
Sure.
And he brings a 15-passenger, and I'm like, what in the world? I was like, you got a family reunion? And he's like, nah, I rap. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, how long you been doing that? He's like, I've been doing this for like 4 years, 5 years. I was like, oh, okay. And his DJ was like, yeah, I'm DJ Lavish. I'm like, dude, if I don't know him, I don't know you. So he comes in, he spends like a ton of money with his MCM bag. That was dope. Most recently, Fabulous came through.
Cool.
That was amazing. John Geiger has been down there. Owie the Dog, he's an OG rapper from Pittsburgh. He's done a lot of stuff with Wiz Khalifa, Young Dolph. He just left Detroit doing a shoot. Just, shouts to Owie. Who else? I know I'm forgetting some people. Matt Gondak as an artist. I've had Cole from he's one of the Dornbecker kids who designed from Make-A-Wish. That was cool. His dad, they came all the way from Oregon, came in the shop, and he beat cancer. So shout outs to Cole. He was 9 years old when he made that shoe. He's the only kid to survive one, and have his shoe retro. Yeah, 2010 and 2013 Dornbecker 3. He came through. It's just amazing. We've had Juju come in when he was a rookie. Didn't even know who he was. It was before all the dancing and all this other stuff. But Juju, shout out to Juju. A lot of rookies came in. Man, don't get mad at me, guys. Trey, Island Trey, 6 from VTech came through. Let me see. My boy Marcus Allen came through. It's one other guy, and he's gonna be so mad if he's hearing this. But it was 3 of them that came through, and they're all dope. We've had a lot of guys, a lot of Steelers, a lot of linemen, a lot of D linemen, DBs. It's been fun, man. I think a lot of people come to the shop because 1, I used to play, and then 2, I really don't care about celebrity status. Until you pay me, that's when I get excited. Right. But other than that, man, everyone comes through with the same energy. We're gonna, send it right back to them. So shout out to all the celebrities, somebody's influencers. Right. Thanks for shopping. But yeah, we've had tons.
Stop on in.
Yep. You too, Josh.